doesn't matter where you are on your financial journey. You could be trying to save for something in the short run. You could be trying to save for something in the long run. Or you could be trying to pay off some debt. The point is, no matter where you are in the journey, the first thing you need to master is budgeting. A budget can help you repay high-interest debt and help you rebuild your savings. Now, budgeting isn't exactly super easy. It comes in various forms with different levels of complexity, especially if you're budgeting for a regular income or following a spending plan that prioritizes saving. However, there is one rule that can make all of this easier for you. It's the 50-30-20 rule. This rule is also sometimes written as 50-20-30 rule, and it can be a simple strategy if you need help starting a budget or getting back on track after a problem. Hello and welcome back to Tides of Wealth, where you're just one sale away from financial success. What is the 50-30-20 rule? The 50-30-20 rule is a budgeting strategy that centers around allocating your income after taxes, which is basically your take-home pay, into three main categories: 50% for essentials, 30% for non-essentials, and 20% for savings and paying off debts. This rule was initially detailed by Elizabeth Warren, who was a professor at the time before she became a senator, and her daughter Amelia Warren Tyagi, in their book titled All Your Worth: The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan. 50% needs. Essentials are the expenditures that are absolutely crucial for living and ensuring fundamental well-being. Essentials basically include housing, utilities, food, transportation, healthcare and childcare. Even though these essentials may seem straightforward, there is still a notable degree of individual interpretation associated with essentials. For example, while some individuals may rely on public transport, others might find it better and more efficient to own a personal vehicle. Life insurance premiums may be viewed as essential by a single parent, whereas someone without dependents may not feel the same way. If you are facing budget constraints, it's worth exploring strategies to reduce your essential expenses. Could you potentially relocate to a more affordable area, or consider getting a roommate? Is it possible to cut costs by choosing a different grocery store? Can you identify opportunities to reduce your fuel expenses by driving less frequently? Identifying all your needs based on your priorities and then trying to find a way to reduce those expenses is one of the best things you can do while following this rule. Because the thing is, while these are all essentials, they do take 50% of your budget. So if you can find a way to reduce those expenses, then you can quite easily make more room for savings. 30% wants. Non-essentials are often referred to as wants, and these are the expenses that add a personal touch to your budget. They allow you to customize your financial plan, and integrating some enjoyable elements in your budget can increase your chance of following through with your plan. While dedicating 30% to wants might appear a bit too luxurious, it's important to note that this category often serves a double purpose by accommodating any upgrades or extras you'd like to include in your necessities section. For example, you need a cell phone for communication, but choosing the latest model or opting for a premium plan falls under the want category. Similarly, clothing is a necessity, but deciding to purchase a special outfit or a higher-end brand becomes a want. This is why it can get a little tricky. For instance, some people think that it's crucial to have a gym membership so they can live a longer, healthier life. They might even argue that they can make more money if they're alert and fit. They could even argue that going to the gym regularly helps them stay well, which can reduce their chances of hefty medical bills in the future. So a gym membership could be considered a need by some, while a want by some others. That's why when you're in the middle of making a budget according to the 50-30-20 rule, you must think about what's crucial to you and what's not. But in general, these are the types of items and services found in the wants category: cable TV or streaming services, vacation expenses, furniture purchases, beauty appointments, hobbies and leisure activities, dining out at restaurants, entertainment outgoings, shopping for clothing and accessories, electronics and gadgets, and gym memberships. Even when you're spending just around 30% of your money on wants, It's better if these wants provide actual value to your life and something beneficial for you in the long run. By the way, if you're enjoying everything in this video so far, would really appreciate it if you could just like and hit the subscribe button. 20% savings and debt repayment. The 50-30-20 plan places a strong emphasis on both savings and reducing debt, but the specific allocation for savings or debt payments should align with your individual financial situation. Within the savings category, you can think of various financial objectives such as retirement contributions, building an emergency fund, or working towards specific goals like home ownership or travel. For entirely debt-free individuals, or those who only have a low-interest mortgage, allocating the full 20% of your net income towards savings may be an incredible approach. However, if you have student loans, for example, or maintain a credit card debt, you'll need to make decisions on how to divide your money between savings and debt repayments. When you're confronted with high interest rates on your debts compared to what you can earn from your savings, it might be a better option to allocate a larger portion towards debt repayment. Prioritizing the repayment of high-interest debts is an important step in achieving financial stability. Nevertheless, it's important not to overlook retirement contributions to tax-advantaged accounts, especially if your employer offers matching contributions. Okay, now that we've properly talked about the 50-30-20 rule, let's talk about why it's so simple and easy to follow. Why is the 50-30-20 rule easy to follow? The 50-30-20 budgeting method stands out for its simplicity and well-defined structure. This budgeting approach offers several benefits. First of all, there's only minimal tracking as it only requires you to monitor 3 primary categories. Secondly, it's approachable since it may be less overwhelming compared to more complex budgeting methods. Then there's the fact that there's a clear framework. The biggest reason why it is a good method and easy to follow is because it prioritizes debt reduction. One of the key advantages of the 50-30-20 budget rule is its simplicity. Let's consider an individual with a monthly take-home pay of $6,000. Applying the 50-30-20 rule, their monthly budgeting breakdown would be as follows: 50% for mandatory expenses, $3,000. 20% for savings and debt repayment, $1,200. 30% for wants and discretionary spending, $1,800. The realism of these percentages may differ based on the category. In our example, essential expenses are rent payments for a 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. Renter's insurance premium, $25. Car payment and insurance, $740. Groceries, $400. Total, $2,965. In this instance, 49% of take-home pay goes towards mandatory expenses, slightly falling behind the 50% goal, which is a good thing. Next, savings and debt repayments need to be considered. In our example, these include student loan repayment, $415. Credit card or other debt payment, $315, savings, $400, total $1,130. This falls close to the 20% goal, which is $1,200. However, people with substantial debt may surpass the 20% target, while others may opt to allocate more funds to expedite debt repayment. Finally, the wants category encompasses cell phone bill, $110, streaming services such as Disney+, Netflix, Spotify, etc., $40, internet services, $100, dining out, $500, shopping, $300, total $1,050. This aligns well with the 30% goal. Moreover, this percentage-based budget, like the 50-30-20 rule, is flexible and can be adjusted to cater to individual financial circumstances. In our example, the individual could redistribute some of their wants funds to increase savings or accelerate their student loan repayments, so that they pay a lower interest over time. Now, let's talk about how you could use this rule to your advantage. How to use the 50-30-20 rule to your advantage. Forming a budget is the manageable part. The real challenge is to go through with it. What's the entire point of 50-30-20 rule if you don't have the discipline to put it into action? If your spending habit consistently goes over the 50% allocated to needs and the 30% for wants, you'll struggle to reach your financial goals and secure your financial future. The first step in maintaining your budget is to change your perspective on budgeting. Instead of viewing it as a hindrance to your freedom, consider it as a catalyst for financial freedom. Budgeting frees you from the clutches of consumerism, allowing you to shed non-essential expenses. It empowers you with self-control and the patience required for delayed gratification. As Rachel Cruz, a financial advisor at Ramsey Solutions, put it, a budget doesn't restrict your freedom, it grants you freedom. After a change in mindset, practical steps are essential to sticking to your budget. A useful technique employed by many is to maintain a continuous or mid-month record of your expenditures. This way you can monitor your progress and identify when you're nearing the limit. For instance, if your monthly grocery budget is $1,000, tracking each grocery expense can signal when you're approaching 30%, 50%, or even 70% of your budget, getting you to exercise caution and avoid overstepping the limit. This approach can be applied to all your needs and wants. Consider dining out as another example. If your records reveal that you've already spent 100% of your monthly dining out allocation, it's clear you can't afford another meal outside. This record keeping helps prevent you from exceeding your budget, which you might unintentionally do without keeping track. An alternative strategy, providing you're comfortable with carrying cash for security reasons, is to withdraw cash for your needs and wants and allocate each portion into separate envelopes. For instance, you might place $1,000 in the groceries envelope and $200 in the dining out envelope. This way, you'll avoid unintentionally using the funds marked for savings or investments. When trying to budget this way, there are certain pitfalls that people commonly end up falling into, so be wary of those and try your best to avoid them. Common pitfalls to avoid: overspending on non-essentials. While 30% allocated to non-essentials allows for discretionary spending, it's crucial to steer clear of excessiveness. According to the National Retail Federation, impulsive spending contributes to financial stress for over 80% of Americans. Being mindful of non-essentials and adhering to the allocated percentage is essential. Neglecting savings. Overlooking the 20% designated for savings can jeopardize the long-term benefits of the 50-30-20 rule. The Economic Policy Institute notes that nearly 30% of Americans have no retirement savings. Prioritizing savings is vital for building a financial safety net and preparing for the future. Failure to reassess and adjust. Financial circumstances change, and failing to reassess and adjust your budget accordingly can lead to inefficiencies. The McKinsey Consumer Financial Health Survey reveals that individuals who regularly update their financial goals and plans are more likely to experience financial well-being. Well, that's it for today. Let us know in the comments below how you plan to use the 50-30-20 rule to maximise your savings and give yourself a decent financial future. See you soon!